Myself, Dr. Vilas Kalekar. I am practicing homeopathy since last 25 years. I would like to welcome all of you in this new series of Understanding Rubrics of Mind. Episode number 1. In this series, we are going to see one by one the rubrics of mind with their detailed meanings and explanation. So before going to the proper rubric part, we are going to see the short introduction of mind and its concept of mind according to homeopathy, which is given in our Organon of Medicine by our master Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. An individual from every moment of his birth in the world carries along a bundle of thoughts, feelings, emotions, and ideas which not only alters with the time but also with the various stimuli of the environment. This is what forms the one's personality, an expression of what we are made up of from within. The individual self-concept is the core of his personality. It affects every aspect of human behavior, the ability to learn, the capacity to grow and change. Individual today is in a race to achieve success and reach high set goals at lightning pace. This leaves him with unpleasant gifts of stress, worry, anxiety, and intolerance. The mind is a matter over every kind of fortune. It acts in both ways, being the cause of its own happiness and misery. Certain stresses set up discharges themselves along the various peripheral nerves, leading to development of somatic symptoms, or certainly in the mind leading to change in the personality. Thus, in extreme cases, we find either purely of physical diseases or purely psychological disturbances without any concomitant physical changes. They are mentioned by the psychic factors, that is continued anxiety, worry, vexation, wrong and frequent occurrence of great fear and fright. If this remains for a long time, they destroy the body to a great extent. These illnesses are in their early stages, that is when they are not affected to the body to a great extent, are amenable to any kind of friendly advice or change in the diet and regime. They can revert to the normal with these measures but still require an antisoric deep acting remedy to prevent a relapse, as they are invariably of soric origin. To understand such mental diseases, we should try to get full picture of the disease, comparing physical and mental symptoms through careful past history and case taking. So, what is the concept of mind in which is given in Organon of Medicine by our master Dr. Samuel Hahnemann? It is given nicely in the aphorism number 210 to 230. According to him, the mind and body are not separate entities, but they form an indivisible whole, inseparable, in fact, but distinguishable by mind for easy understanding. In natural diseases, the physical disturbances are often found associated with their mental counterparts. Illnesses is the result of biological as well as physiological events. The concept of disease in homeopathy is that the disease is a total affection of mind and body, the disturbance of the whole organism. Individual organs are not the cause of illnesses, but the disturbance at the inner level, that is the disturbance of the life force, the vital energy of the body, is the cause of illness. Therefore, the homeopathy does not believe in every giving different medicines for different afflicted parts of the body, but rather gives a one single constitutional remedy which will cover the whole disturbance of the person. Homeopathy treats the patient as a whole and not just the disease. Medical philosophy is coming more and more to the conclusion that the mere treatment of symptoms and organs can only help temporarily, and that is the healing power of body as a whole that has to be enhanced. Homeopathy believes in holistic, totalistic and individualistic approach. So what is totality? The totality of the symptoms implies the logical combination of general and particular aspect of symptoms as to bring out the concrete individual image of the disease. As the image implies a particular form consisting of parts which constitutes the whole, and a disease is the outward reflected image of the derangement of the inner vital force. In the art of covering the symptoms totality of the patient with the symptoms totality of the drug, those symptoms that indicates the individual personality of the patient and the drugs are to be matched up first and given the highest order of the priority in choosing the homeopathic simillimum for a case. As the mental symptoms and the physical general symptoms are individualizing in the highest degree of homeopathic simillimum, drug must be cover those symptoms. So what are the general symptoms? The general symptoms are those which relates to the patient as a whole, that is his bodily reaction to the environment, his mental and emotional states, which is aversions and desires, his body secretions and discharges. The mental picture is all important to homeopathic physician as it reveals the inner man. It confers the individuality on the picture and thus helps to differentiate. Kent lays all the emphasis on the mental side of the picture, to which the physician is exhorted to pay a special attention in the evaluation of the case. The symptoms of mind and those of the intellect furnishes the complete picture there and their exact interrelationship. One needs to understand the Hahnemann suggested to treat the man as a whole and not the disease or illnesses or symptoms. Man is not a collection of symptoms as it is being understood by many homeopaths. The symptoms needs to be categorized according to miasm and a peculiar genetic trait of the constitution needs to be predominantly considered if a drug image of a person has to be evolved. Each and every trait of a person is the presentation of himself, and the most important all is the disposition. So what is the disposition of mind? The disposition is a genetic trait that individualizes a person. The disposition is a mental, general as well as a physical. It has been described in aphorism number 210 to 215 and footnote number 121 and 122. He has made it amply clear that it is chiefly the disposition that determines the right simillimum if a patient has to be cured in keeping with nature's law of cure. So what is the aphorism number 211 and 213 says, the aphorism number 211 says that this holds good to such an extent that the state of disposition of the patient often chiefly determines the selection of homeopathic remedy as being a decidedly characteristic symptoms which can least of all remain concealed from the accurately observing physician. Then aphorism number 213. We shall therefore never be able to cure conformably to nature, that is to say homeopathically, if you do not in every case of a disease, even in such are rare, acute, observe along with the other symptoms, those relating to the changes in the state of mind and disposition, and if you do not select for the patient relief from among the medicine a disease force which in addition to its similarity of its other symptoms to those of the disease is also capable of producing similar state of the disposition of mind. So this is the aphorism number 13. Here the Hahnemann clearly explained what is the importance of disposition in the selection of homeopathic similimum. So understanding rubric is the first step towards the successful selection of remedy. Mental symptoms plays an important role in unfolding the true image of a sick person, but in practical experience it is very difficult to obtain from the sick person, and also very difficult to understand or interpret them correctly. While receiving the case, it is often difficult to translate the person's sufferings into the language of the repertory. We must be aware of how to convert the condition into symptoms and the symptoms into the rubric. Many of the practitioners and students find it very difficult to interpret these symptoms and the condition to refer in the repertory and to arrive at the similimum. One must be thoroughly familiar with the stock of rubrics so far as their meaning is concerned. Majority of the rubrics found in the mind sections are neglected by the common practitioners for want of correct understanding and interpretation of the rubrics. So this is all what is the introduction of the mind and concept of mind in homeopathy. So from next episode we are going to see the rubrics and their explanation. The concept of explanation is like this, that is the main rubric, its meaning in English, meaning in Hindi, meaning of rubrics in Marathi, then what are the remedies that are covered under the rubrics, that is first grade remedies first, then second grade remedies next to that. Then the cross references of each rubrics. The cross references are the same or similar rubrics meaning of that particular main rubric. Then comes the miasm of each rubrics, then disease condition, that is the psychiatric condition of each rubrics. This is the sequence of explanation of the rubrics in each episode. So from next episode we will see the proper rubric part and their detailed explanation. So till then I would like to thank all of you for your kind listening and attending this episode. From next episode we will see we will meet with a new rubrics. Till then, goodbye. Thank you. Take care.